slow and steady, yeah?
I think I'm stuck.
Just breathe with me, please. It's okay.
What was that?
Go forward! Go forward!
We live in a world full of mysteries and terrifying horrors that happened in the past, events that man itself cannot control, and a place where evil reigns. Sit back as we present to you the top 10 creepiest places on Earth. But before that, I have a little favor to ask. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, just press that little red button down there. Also, don't forget to click that like and bell icon for more videos. Thank you. Number 10. The Amityville House. Who would have thought that a once happy home in a Long Island town of Amityville would turn out to be the one of most popular haunted house in history? It all started in November 13, 1974, when 23-year-old Ronald J. DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family while they were asleep. According to Ronald, he was convinced by the devil to kill his family. 13 months later, a couple bought the house for a much lower price due to the incident. But as they live in their new house, they experience supernatural activities like an invisible spirit knocking at their door, waking up at the time Ronald killed his family, and many more paranormal activities. As of today, the Amityville House original address, which is 112 Ocean Avenue, were changed into 108 to deter tourists. Number 9. The Barbaree Insane Asylum. Located in the state of Philadelphia, a state hospital only for the insane that's supposed to cure and care, became a place of torment and evil activities. The Barbaree Mental Hospital, officially known as the Philadelphia State Hospital, started their operation in the year 1903. And eventually grew up so fast that there weren't enough staff to work, due to the hospital's understaff. There was no order and buses and torment began to increase. Some of the most excruciating abuses that happened in the hospital was pulling a patient's teeth without painkiller as a part of their treatment. Murders and homicide also took place. In 1919, a patient was strangled by a staff until his eyes pop out. In 1987, a female patient was raped and killed by a fellow patient. 1989, 2 more dead bodies were discovered, tumbled in the weeds, and one of the body had been missing for about 5 months. The Barbaree Mental Hospital finally shut down in 1990. Number 8. Tuolsleng Genocide Museum. Tuolsleng Genocide Museum was once the central hub of a vast prison system and was used as a secret facility for the detention, interrogation, torture, and extermination of prisoners and for political enemies. And only few inmates got lucky and released out during the years of 1975 to 1979. And the rest of inmates were said to be tortured and killed. It was said that it went up to 12,000 inmates didn't get lucky and killed. As of today, the building's still standing and visited by tourists. Number 7. The Island of the Dolls.
Solo en esta isla. Todos ellos están aquí, conmigo. Cada uno tiene su nombre, su historia.
On an island on Shuilo Lake, a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera came to live in the island. Not long after his relocation, he made a shocking and horrible discovery that will change his entire life. A body of a young girl drowned, and alongside with her is a small doll. Don Barrera took the doll and hung it to a tree in memory of the young girl. 50 years later, little did he know he had been collecting and scavenging dolls to hang in the island. Most of these dolls were deformed, damaged, and burned, making it more creepier. And in 2001, Don Barrera passed away. His body was found dead in the same exact location where the young girl was discovered. Number 6. The Danby Asylum. Also known by the locals as the mental. Stories of torture treatments such as electroconvulsive, lobotomies, insulin coma, and patient incarcerated for rest of their lives, have taken place in this mental asylum. Not surprisingly, Danby Asylum became a place of evil for its years of operation. Today, the asylum was sold for insanely cheap price of £350,000, and been a subject for redevelopment. After many years of operation, the asylum still possesses eerie atmosphere that every visitor came to witness. Number 5. Catacomb of Paris. It was known before as the Tombéchoir quarries under the plain of Montrouge. It was operational for at least 15th century and then abandoned for unknown reason. After being a quarry, It was redeveloped and turned into a massive cemetery. The bones were dumped at night into the 2 quarry wells and then distributed and pilled by a quarry worker. And it is then named catacombs after the Roman catacombs. The Paris catacombs are now open for everyone, and having nearly 550,000 visitors yearly. Number 4. Waverly Hills Sanitarium.
Let's have a look at one of these sanatoria, or tuberculosis hospitals as they're called today. Real hospitals for the tuberculous, and not merely resting places. Here we are in a large southern sanatorium.
This hospital for tuberculosis first opened its door on July 26, 1910, a small hospital that can only accommodate up to 50 patients, but in 1926, the hospital had to expand in order to accommodate an influx of patients. But this unobtrusive hospital became a place of devilish acts. In desperation to find a cure for tuberculosis, some of this eerie treatment was that patients had their lungs surgically resected or partially removed in order for the organ to rest, but this kind of treatment is a failure. And in 1961 the Waverly Hills Sanitarium officially closed its doors. However, pain and suffering souls still lives within the halls of the sanitarium, making it one of the most popular haunted sanitarium in the world. Number 3. Willard Asylum. Willard Asylum was built for one purpose, and that is to rescue mentally ill people, giving them shelter, food, clothes, and care. The idea for their treatment was the patient can be treated and trained, while find a much more productive work so that they can go back to society. This idea of Willard was new, and different yet, somehow worked. But the asylum is still a product of a dark time where knowledge is still insufficient, having them practice some treatment considered to be horrifying. The asylum that once a built to rescue, became a place of prison for mentally disabled, and became their dying place, forgotten by their loved ones outside the asylum. In 1995 the Willard Asylum shut its operation, and today the place still consists objects and items of the deceased patient. Number 2. Povela Island. Located in the South Lagoon between Venice and Lido. This small island has many dark and devilish history, but before that, this small Italian island was once a place for refuge, and a stronghold. However, in 1348, the bubonic plague arrived in Venice and Povela. Like many other small islands, Povela Island became a dumping place for those who are too sick. The plague already became a death sentence, becoming Povela Island their final destination. At the center of the island were corpses and being burned on a giant pyre. In 1630 Povela Island again became a dumping place of dead bodies as the Black Death swept the entire city. And in 1800 Povela Island became a residence for mentally ill. It was said that a doctor became mad and threw himself from the bell tower. As of today, Povela Island is abandoned. Locals and tourists are prohibited from visiting. Number 1. Eastern State Penitentiary.
You're going to see that there are cells on either side, but you're also going to notice there's skylights up in the top.
Our top one in the list is the Eastern State Penitentiary, having the darkest and most horrifying history. Its 142 years of operation is full of madness, suicides, torture, and murders, having no surprise that this place is one of the most haunted places on earth. Some of the torture and punishment that took place is the water bath, in which inmates were dunked and hung out on a wall in winter until ice formed on the skin. The med chair, which bound an inmate so tightly that circulation was cut off, later necessitating amputations. The iron gag, in which an inmate's hands were tied behind the back and strapped to an iron collar in the mouth, so that any movement will cause the tongue to tear and bleed profusely. And the hole, a dank underground cell where unfortunate souls had no light, no human contact, no exercise, no toilet and little food and air. And in 1971 the prison shut down. As of today, the Eastern State Penitentiary is one of the most haunted places on earth, and year by year, dozens of paranormal researchers visit the place and often report it as the place of evil. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like and bell notification below.